the town of Bluefield, Virginia, that the 2027 fiscal year budget for the town of Bluefield, Virginia Municipal Corporation, which is attached to this ordinance, includes the increase of real estate tax, cigarette tax, trash service fee, a reduction of motor vehicle tax, is hereby approved and adopted by the council of the town of Bluefield, Virginia, which will be on the 9th day of June 2027, I assume. Be it further ordained by the council of the town of Bluefield, Virginia, that under the water fund fiscal year budget for the town of Bluefield, a Virginia Municipal Corporation, water rates were increased by an additional 2% in fiscal year 2027, and such increase is ratified and approved. Be it further ordained by the council of the town of Bluefield, Virginia, that the cost of reconnecting delinquent water user fee will increase to $40 per occurrence, and such fee is ratified and approved. Be it further ordained by the council of the town of Bluefield, Virginia, that under general fund on general property tax line as included in the 2027 fiscal year budget for the town of Bluefield, a Virginia Municipal Corporation, real estate taxes were increased by an additional 7 1/4 cents, bringing the tax rate to 26 cents per $100, which such increase is ratified and approved. Be it further ordained by the council of the town of Bluefield, Virginia, that under general fund on other local tax line as included in the 2027 fiscal year budget for the town of Bluefield, a Virginia Municipal Corporation, cigarette taxes were increased by an additional 0.045 cents per pack, bringing the tax rate to 17 cents per pack, and such increase is ratified and approved. Be it further ordained by the council of the town of Bluefield, Virginia, that under general fund on charges for services line, as included in the 2027 fiscal year budget for the town of Bluefield, a Virginia Municipal Corporation, trash service were increased by an additional $2 per month, bringing the service fee to $17 per month, and such increase is ratified and approved. Be it further ordained by the council of the town of Bluefield, Virginia, that the town of Bluefield, Virginia Municipal Corporation currently imposes a motor vehicle tax of $10, and such approved that this tax is amended and reduced to $1 per motor vehicle trailer or semi-trailer in fiscal year 2027, and such reduction is ratified and approved. Be it ordained by the council of the town of Bluefield, Virginia, that this ordinance is hereby adopted this 9th day of June 2026, and this ordinance shall be effective on the 1st day of July 2026. And the following is just signatures and adoption.
Thank you for reading that. Is there anybody that would like to speak on any of these tax increases for the fiscal year 2027? You're more than welcome to speak. We will not vote on this tonight, obviously. This is just the second reading. And it will be June the 9th. It's when the final vote will be taken to approve or disapprove this. Hopefully it'll get approved then, with all the work that's gone into it. So if there's any changes that need to be made, tonight would be the night to speak about it. So that's why I'm still encouraging anybody that's here that would like to speak on this, you're more than welcome. We are ready for you to come forward. Not hearing anybody wanting to speak on these, we will now close the public.
Hey, Donna.
Yes, ma'am.
The gentleman back there.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question. How do you go about doing the breakdown for each department of the town of Bluefield? What the expenses are for the fiscal budget of 2027? And I'm wondering why we have to have a real estate increase on the tax. Since the reassessment that was done a couple of years ago, they said the property value of personal real estate in the town of Luther, Virginia, increased significantly. So, at the old rate of that, y'all should have still got a windfall on the real estate taxes.
Colonel, do you want me to answer, or do you want to? I will make this statement. You asked how you can find the expense and stuff. I'm sure if you'll go and speak with the Colonel, he can give you that. It's open to the public. Each department has line items, expenses, revenue, and he, the true treasurer, and assistant town manager, and of course the council, worked on this forever. And it was very difficult. And to answer your question, yes, we did get a windfall over the years with the increase in personal and property, real estate. But, as I said to another citizen that we were talking to, the rate with which we charge real estate had not been increased since 2006, which was 20 years. And I said, have you had any increases in your wages or whatever in that period of time? Obviously, he said, yes. And I said, well, we have been fortunate throughout the years to have the money to not have to raise it. But this particular year, and it was even last year that it was able to be taken care of last year. This particular year, there are about 85% of the budget, there's not a thing anybody can do about it. It's A, B, C, D. But the wages, thanks to our governor, have gone up a lot, a whole lot, and they're going to go up again in January 1 of 27. I believe it's $1, somewhere around $1 increase. We have to budget for that. And with the employees, not only does that increase, the insurance, the retirement, FICA, and all that increases. Then, on top of that, I'm just speaking of employees, the insurance went up a tremendous amount. And we ended up about $1.5 million in the red. And they worked, and in the last couple of years, they've done a tremendous amount of cutting with departments. And I mean, it is bare bones. And I will tell you this, with this manager that we have now, some of us have been here forever, but we know where every single penny is. If someone comes in and wants us to pave a street, and the council says, yes, we'll do that, it's $4,000. The question he asked us is, fine, we can do it, tell me where we're taking it from. We don't have it sitting here to add to it, so that we start. So they worked and worked and worked and worked. They tried every way in the world to make it balance, and this is the only way they can make it balance. So, to help, which I guess it helps, we were going to do away with the sticker that used to go on your windshield. It's $10, it's on your tax ticket, and the purpose of that was to collect the personal property tax. That was the only reason it was put on for years. Well, the rate's gone up about 99% of collections, so they said we don't need it anymore. So we were able to knock off 9 of the $10. And the reason the Colonel chose 9 instead of 10 is if we completely do away with it, the county's going to add $20 to everybody's bill. So as long as we have something there, they can add to it. So the water, we're behind the 8 ball big time in the water. So with this small increase, we're still behind in the water. The garbage, I've always said they come to your house 4 or 5 times a month, which for $13 or $14, $15. And that's just a bargain any way you look at it. Everybody around, my son lives in Fort Mill, South Carolina, and they pay $65 a month. And they're allowed one trash can a week, period. We allow you to have whatever you have. We hope it's 2 trash cans. It's those things that have caught up with us over the years, and we have to make the adjustments to be able to continue offering the services. It's a big town. There's a lot goes on. So if you have any more questions, I just did the best I could do, but the Colonel probably could do a whole lot better than I can. The Colonel, if you want to say anything I didn't say.
Yes, sir. If your question was about general property taxes are roughly $1,593,000 is what we project. That is about 10% of the overall budget of over $10 million. So,
Is that the real estate, when you say property?
yes, general property taxes is included in that. At $1 million, so of the taxes and of the revenues we receive, the general property taxes account for a little over 10% of our overall revenue. And in the paper, and I'm happy to provide it to you, is the line-by-line department of the revenue in major categories, and then the expenses by department as listed out. So again, this budget, we anticipate receiving $10,094,023 in revenue overall. Of course, that equals our expenses for a balanced budget in the general fund. Water fund, $1,692,948. Of course, expenses equal that. Cemetery fund, $36,000. Transit fund, $469,435. Fincastle, $2,300,000. And those are the major headings. So when you add the whole kit and caboodle up, the town is taking in and expensing around $14 million.
I have another question.
All right.
On the selling of the store, have y'all received the $7 million?
No, and we won't receive $7 million.
We will?
We will not receive $7 million. And
How much are you receiving?
the sale estimated is at $3 million.
When do y'all anticipate receiving that?
We don't know because it's not gone in front of the Public Service Commission. It may not occur at all. It may occur at a reduced rate, or it may come in at the $3 million. But it is an unknown. I believe the earliest we would find out would be September.
And one thing that I can say to that is we could not budget any of that money that we don't have.
I understand that.
Yeah, some people say, well, you're going to get it. Well, I hope we do. And if we do, maybe next year's budget will be easier to deal with. But as we speak tonight, this is what needs to be done to balance the budget. Now, as every one of us up here, we all have to pay it too. That's the bad thing. We don't like it going up any more than anybody else. But when you really get into it, and like I said, I've been here a long time, and this administration has really worked hard with each department. There's no fluff anywhere. And they're very well run now. They're part of the team now, where it used to be they'd say, here's how much money you get, do whatever you want with it. Boy, that ain't the way it is now. It's really it's really getting run like a fine machine for the first time that I can ever remember. And I've been here 30-some years, but, I'm very proud. I'm not proud to raise this stuff, I can tell you that, not at all. But I'm proud that we have what we have, and this is what it takes to continue. You can't pick up garbage and lose money. You can't run a water system and continue to lose money. And it's lost money for a lot of years, a whole lot of years. And there comes a time when you can't just keep losing money. And that's why this budget is like it is. But you're more than welcome to ask all the questions you want.
Well, if it's been losing money for years, how did you make up that loss?
We can't make it up. And all we're trying to do now is, here's what it costs to operate, and here's what we're bringing in. So they had to come up with an amount to say, we need this much to cover this operating cost. And that's pretty much what they have done. Several years ago, it was supposed to go up every year for 5 consecutive years. Well, they didn't do it. It went up one time, the next 4 years it didn't go up at all. And luckily, over the years, we had money from left over here, left over there, to be able to absorb it. But now, all the sponge has run dry.
Yeah, so prior year reserves, you'll see on there, was one way to make up for deficit for budget shortfalls. This budget does not rely on any prior year reserve spending.
Do you have more questions? You're free to ask.
I mean, I can afford what's happening. I'm just thinking about the people that's out here working for minimum wage. With everything else going up, the cost of gas, the cost of electricity.
But that happens to us as well. That's the problem.
You know.
See, that happened to us because our people on the low end of the wage scale, the governor put them here. Well, we have no choice but to do that. So when they get like $1 raise, didn't that dollar raise cost us like $1.40 something?
Well, loaded wage, depending, yes, can be upwards of $1.40.
Yeah, so they get a fair amount for a minimum wage.
Yeah.
Would you work for that?
No.
Okay.
And
No, but we offer a lot of entry-level jobs, don't forget. Lifeguards, people that work at the pool. I mean, it's a great job for a teenager in high school still.
Yeah, my daughter did that when she was.
You know, and they'll get minimum wage, but in 2 years, we're gonna have to pay them $15 an hour. Or higher.
Well, if the pool cannot sustain itself.
The pool definitely loses money, but is that a service that we should provide?
We have 2 pools.
We do, and they're utilized at a terrific rate, averaging 150 people per day. And I think it's great that we offer that for young people to have a job. And that's one way we give back to the community.
Lifeguard at Harmony Acres when she was in college.
So those are the tough decisions. We could cut the services, but then we lose the benefits. So the real question is, are you all as the taxpayers willing to fund those activities?
anything else, sir?
No.
Okay, thank you for asking the questions. I appreciate that. Does anybody else have, yes, ma'am?
I understand the trash, the water, you know, I have no problem with that. But when the assessment on houses went up such a gigantic amount 2 years ago, and the taxes went up 50 to 100%, and then right now, we still need another raise? I don't understand that.
Carl, can you explain that? What? James may can explain that. We have
a sheet that lists it, but it's unfortunately the costs of running the town. Yes, people's assessment went up, but not everybody's assessment went up. And to my knowledge, none of them went up higher than 40%.
Oh, yes, mine did. My neighbors did. My neighbors went up like 70%.
So what would the number end up being for your assessment?
I'm sorry?
What was the number then that your assessment ended up at?
I don't remember now. It's,
So a $200,000 assessed value home will go up under this proposal $147, right? $145. That would be your added increase to the tax rate. If you have 1, 2, or 3 vehicles, you can subtract $10, $20, $30 off that, right? But that, unfortunately, is the price to pay for the services and the added expenses that the town has incurred. I could not help the minimum wage increase. I cannot help the health care increase. That totals alone over $100,000. After cutting what we could cut, we still had a projected deficit of $400,000 without trimming away any services that the town provides.
I'm retired with fixed income, and I used to hate when people to say that. But you are, you have no control over your income, you can't work on their hard and get a little bit more money. And with what the assessment went up so much, it hit me like $400 a year, as it was. And my paycheck, you all talk about the paycheck going up in the last 20 years that much. No. I've been retired for 11 years, and mine has not gone up anywhere near that. If things were adjusted a little bit this year, a little bit next year, a little bit next year, it wouldn't hit you as hard as these gigantic jumps. I know you all didn't do it, but why were the assessments not done in a timely manner before?
I can answer that, because I thought like the devil. Mr. Artney was the manager 30 years ago when I got here, and he always said, you need to raise just a little tiny bit every year, whether you need it or not.
Right.
He said, because one of these days, you'll need it. But we had council members and a mayor that didn't want to raise anything a nickel, you know, and that went on for a long time. And in years past, the council, which Trigg and I and some others were members of, we really weren't kept aware of everything like we are now. They worked really hard on the budget, then brought it to us, and every one of us said, oh gosh, no, we can't do this. But when they show you, we have to do this because you, meaning me, and some of the ones before me, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. We should have, like you said, a big hit hurts, but a little tiny bit. Years ago, Bill King, when he was the mayor, he said, we need to raise garbage rates 25 cents a year, whether you need it or not. They did it for 2 years. Then they just quit doing it. Same way with water, and like I said, it's either 4 or 5 years ago, when they did an improvement. A lot of things when you do with these things, the government says you have to do this, and this is how you have to do it. And so they do the rate structure that way. They were supposed to have raised it for, it was either 3 or 4 years, wasn't it, Colonel? And they didn't do it. 4 years, 5 years? 5 years. They didn't do it. If they had it, probably wouldn't be raising it now. And hopefully, from today, after this, moving forward, if it is raised, it'll be a very, very small amount. I'm like you. We're retired, and you don't get a big raise when you're retired. You get a
No, you get a
big surprise.
Social Security goes up, and Medicare it's all $2.
That's right, that's exactly right. I
And then your
learned,
other health insurance goes up $50 a month.
yeah, I learned real quick that, as they say, when you get older, you travel a lot, and they're right, you travel to the doctor and to the drugstore. You get to do a lot of traveling, but it's hard, and I wanna say, as the mayor, I'm proud of our treasurer and our manager that have done and made these hard decisions and showed, they didn't tell you to do it, they showed you why you had to do it. And as I said to the colonel, if we show the people why, most of them will say, okay, I understand. May not like it, I don't think anybody likes having to pay more for something. But if they can leave here tonight, or when we vote, understanding why we had to do it, they may not like it, but maybe they won't leave mad. And that's, you know, we're all mad, we have it too.
Mr. Mayor, I think the lady's question was why the assessments are 6 years apart.
That's the state law. The county does the assessments every 6 years. They can do it every year, but they can also choose to do it every year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and the county chooses to do it every 6 years. David Anderson, the Commissioner of the Revenue, says the state tells you you have to do it this time or this time, and the maximum you can wait is 6 years, and that's why they do it every 6 years. Which, I agree with you, 6 years is a lot.
I really thought it'd been longer than that.
I thought it was, and it costs 2.5.
A lot of money.
It costs a lot of money for that guy to come around, and believe you me, he and I argued till I turned blue. But, as we say, so, did that, I hope that helped answer it, I don't know if it did. Does anybody else have a question they'd like to ask?
Yes.
Okay?
Thin Castle on the Mountain, how much money is the town putting into that? Is it?
So for fiscal year 27, there will be the budget, projection for this budget states we do not put any money into FinCastle, it is self-funded. Minus, the last line in the handout that I gave you, the loan to purchase that property is handled by the general fund. So that money leaves the general fund to pay the debt service for the purchase of FinCastle. FinCastle in and of itself should receive $2.3 million in revenue and $2.3 million in expenses.
So if the lifeguards are hiring at FinCastle and paying a minimum wage, should come out of their operating expenses.
Correct.
Okay, the lifeguards and the people that you're employing at Army Acres should come out of that.
No. They come out of the recreation budget, which is under the general fund.
Why isn't it self-sufficient?
The recreation department?
No,
Army Acres?
yes, you was talking about.
We'd have to charge $50 a head to get in to make it self-sufficient. Last year we lost around $55,000 operating Army Acres. The repair and maintenance, the construction, the age is an incredible amount of repair has to occur every year to get the pool into an adequate, safe condition for use. Whereas FinCastle's pool is newer, better designed, doesn't require near the maintenance, etc. So we started a huge deficit each year on Army Acres.
But when the group years ago decided to bring Army Acres back to life, I don't know, 7 or 8 of us, and we got it back to life. The sole purpose of doing that have recreation for the kids, plus provide jobs for the young people to make money. And those young people, which we employ quite a few at Harmony Acres, are kids in our area that make the money, so the money stays here. We might lose $50,000-$60,000 a year on paper, which it is a loss, but when you add back what the kids make and they spend the money, it comes back into the economy. So it's kind of a two-way thing. On paper, it looks like you're losing $50,000 or $60,000, but you don't make money in recreation. We've never, the park out here, the softball, the baseball, the soccer, none of that makes any money whatsoever. So it is budgeted in the recreation department, which Harmony Acres is considered in the recreation department. So even though that particular department looks like, Harmony Acres looks like it loses that much money, and it does on paper, but it provides a good service for the young people in our area, and it also provides jobs for some of these young people in our area, which I'm tipped to death that happens. Does anybody else have anything? Anybody got any more questions? I appreciate this conversation. This is good. If not, we'll close the public hearing, the 6 o'clock public hearing, and we'll declare that closed.